Hi, and welcome to another episode of Just Kidding. Bonsai is getting back from Crypticon, so he is not here. It sounds like he had a lovely time. There are rumors that he did screamioke, scarioke, some pun about karaoke, which I probably would have hated just because I love karaoke. I just don't know that I want to mix it with, like, they did the Monster Mash in 5 different ways. I feel like it'd be the same torture that I'd be getting from, like, working in a hotel back when I was a kid. Well, by kid, I mean, super young, freshly 19. Wow, I'm old if I'm referring to a 19-year-old self. 19-year-old self as a kid. He would have kicked my ass. Still want to kick my own ass here. Anyways, I remember you just have to sit there at the front desk and hear Christmas music from like after Thanksgiving until right after New Year's, because then I just turned it off. And I know I've complained about this on the pod a few times, but Christmas music has a maybe a week window for me, like the 20th to the 27th. Let's do some Christmas music with those extra days after there on the year, specifically New Year's music. The only exception I've made is Darren Hayes' rendition of Last Christmas. I don't know why. I like it. It's on my regular playlist. I don't like hear it every day, but there's hundreds of songs on that regular playlist, and I just hit random when I'm in the car. Kind of surprise myself sometimes. And that one comes up every so often. So the format for these like mini-sodes that I call them is it's going to be about 15 minutes of me just rambling about the most recent things I've done, the most recent things I've watched. I'm not going to give you my life story. Might make my own pod for that. Bonsai doesn't need to hear it. Honestly, I have spent a lot of my time in the last week catching up on the Johnny Depp Heard trial. I'm not going to go into the details here because they don't matter. But what that has woken up in me is this thirst for some light-hearted court drama, not stuff that makes me shake my head. So, actually, I guess I'm gonna plug here. No, I'm not. They don't pay us money. There's a streaming app that I like to use, and they actually push this. I hate their UI, but they push this show on me, and I'd heard of it. I love the main actor. Well, one of the main actors, James Spader. I think he's fantastic, and everything I've seen him in, Stargate, Blacklist, that season or half a season he did on The Office was fantastic. I'm all for it. So I started watching this, and I know it's a really old show from like 2004, and I'm about 2 episodes from the end of the first season. So I feel like I've had enough that of it that I can give it a solid review. So, by the way, boy, like, you got some pretty actors in this. This is almost an artifact where like everybody had to be absolutely perfect during some of these shows. But anyways, performance-wise, William Shatner, fucking hilarious. It feels a little bit like he's channeling what I've heard of him. He's a guy, a lawyer in this case, just past his prime. I'm just going to talk about the character because it's a comedy legal drama. I know it's weird to say that. There are a lot of funny elements, but it does take itself pretty seriously in some episodes and some topics. But William Shatner's character is a lawyer who funded the firm that they all belong to, but he's just past his prime. So there's a lot of these themes of aging out and themes of like, what do you do once you've reached that goal, right? Like, is it even worth to strive for something, give up so many things? So thematically it's definitely interesting, but he also is this completely delusional, to the point where it's a running gag that he just says his name, Denny Crane, right? It's a thing, which I think he plays off fantastic. I like a lot of what his character brings. He's not the main star. James Spader's character seems to get most of the screen time, but he does it well. So James Spader's character is this. So what I like about his character is that it's as mysterious as James Spader's characters always are. It is a lawyer that's willing to do anything to win, including compromise the rules of the firm, the rules of the law, and he's not above using cheap shots. However, he's also portrayed as kind of a complex character as well, where he's also very, very moral. He's there for the folks he cares about. And a lot of the times when he's breaking the rules, it's almost like a Robin Hood kind of thing. He's doing good while breaking said rules. There are a couple of the other like characters that are added in here. I don't, you know me, names are fucking awful to me. I barely remember the two because I really like Spader and it's William Shatner. If I don't know that one, I need to just close off the episode and tell Bonsai I'm quitting the pod. But anyways, I apologize. So some of the female characters are being shown also in varying degrees of complexity. And I like that because for an older show, it's not always the best. Mind you, there's still a lot of those artifacts of just, even 2004. We don't think it's that long ago, but, 2022, here we are. I know we dated the episode, but there's some shows that don't hold up. This one does a better job, but there's still a couple of items that are just like, okay, that wouldn't work now. The scary part, though, is that some of the episode plots really, just hilariously predict things. There's an episode where there's a little girl who is a little African-American girl who wants to play Annie and to get passed up for the part because she's African-American. So they go to litigation and all that. Well, the hilarious part is just a couple years ago, I believe very similar thing happened. So it was just kind of scary. There's a couple other jokes that just don't land anymore, based around like, ooh, yeah, that's actually happened since then. It's like I was having this exact conversation with Bonsai, and we talked about some jokes in 30 Rock where they make jokes about Cosby, and you just go, yeah, you can't. Okay, that's a real thing now. That's not really funny anymore. So there are those kinds of moments here, but overall, I like it. Also, I didn't realize it, but this has won awards. I am way behind the curve on this one. So far, season 1, dude, some parts just kill me, and they're hilarious. I give it a solid 4 out of 5. There are a couple of things that don't hold up, and some of the episodes seem a little throwaway, but like the last one was pretty hard hitting. Some of the plot lines are complex. I'm into it. I'm definitely into it. All right, so moving on. I just finally caught up on Battlebots, and holy shit, did I not know this? But boy, are there a lot of controversies about some of those questionable calls. Like, I believe it was the semifinal fight. Witch Doctor. Wow, they should not have made it past that. Their bot was wedged. The other bot was moving, had some sort of control. However, Witch Doctor, they paused the whole fight to let them out. How was them getting stuck under that any different than another bot getting stuck under the screws or being flipped on its back, right? Like, I just don't think that they should have won. I don't know why they were allowed to pass. That final fight was so disappointing. I am glad that Witch Doctor did not win. It felt a little bit of a redemption, but I just wish the refs should not have... I think the refs should not have stopped that fight. I do feel Minotaur was robbed, and apparently I looked into it a little bit. Bit of a controversy, of course. The team captain for Minotaur came out, gave a statement, and basically it was a very dignified response. And this is it isn't old news because it was the most recent season, but the captain of the Minotaur team basically said, paraphrasing, of course, we accept what happened. We're not happy about it, but we accept it. However, we'd like to have a conversation about having the rules more well defined. It just seems that a lot of times when it goes to the judge's decision, the rules aren't being enforced universally. Some bots get counted out real fast. Others, it takes a while. Like, we just want consistency. So anyways, I finished it. I love the hell out of it. Battlebots is definitely entertaining. I'm really glad that it's not humans in robot suits. I feel like that would be just unwelcome. But robots, hey, until they gain sentience, I'm almost positive they don't have pain receptors, so let them crack the crap out of each other. Why not? Finish that episode. Finish that season. The other thing that I've been doing a lot of is I've finally been playing Cyberpunk. I know Bonsai hasn't played it, so I'm talking about it while he's not here. We'll probably talk about it again when he finally decides to play it, but I'm loving the hell out of the game. I will say that it is very... I like the open world kind of design, so it almost feels like what was the other game they just had, the one in London? It was like, oh my god, it was also a hacking game. So it's open world. It's almost GTA. Look, I'm either fuck awful at the driving in these kinds of games, or because it's not a driving game, the controls are just bad. But I suck. I hit everything. My wife sits on the couch and laughs at me. I fully admit I'm not very good at driving in these kinds of games, but I'm still enjoying it. There's enough of, hey, you get some of those vehicles as rewards, to also, hey, just spend the money you've been farming and go ahead and do this. Story-wise, I honestly, I think I've made it past Act 1 and a quarter, and I haven't really made it further in the main story because it just, like, I wanted to go do other things. The main story was interesting, but not compelling me enough to keep going. So I don't know. I will get back to the story, and I'm definitely going to finish it, see it all the way through. I chose the corpo background on this one. It's honestly, apparently, it only really matters for the beginning and some of the storylines and dialogue options that you have, but I don't think it really makes a huge difference. I wonder if they change what area you end up starting off in, where you have your house. As an example, if you're a nomad, do you end up having a house either in a vehicle, because you're a nomad, or in the Badlands or somewhere? For the corpo, you have an apartment in near, well, not the main city center, but one of the main areas of Night City, actual city parts, not the suburbs. But overall, I'm enjoying the game. I'm enjoying that you can basically tackle almost any mission in one of three ways. You go quiet, stealth, lurk around. You go heavy, where get your guns, go blast, kaplow. And except for a minute set of missions, going loud will work. I'm not going loud for all of them. I actually chose the third path. I chose the tech path, so it's a hybrid of loud. I like to use the tech path to hijack cameras and then just hack into all their gear and fry them. It's non-lethal. I've also made most of my weapons except for one non-lethal. So that's why I'm enjoying doing the hybrid. Also, in the beginning of the game, it is fucking difficult to get anything done stealth-wise because your skills fucking suck. It wasn't until level 18, so there's 50 levels, but you progress. If you do the side quests, you progress pretty quickly through levels 1 through 15. So up until maybe 15, a little bit after that, I sucked at stealth, so everything was loud. I didn't have I still don't have guns loud enough to just get like a headshot that's silenced. At least maybe I'm just doing it wrong. I'll totally say to that. And then yeah, so for the recording, the chat is asking where Bonsai is. We talked about it in the top of the episode, but Bonsai is actually getting back from Crypticon, and he needed time. So also, I guess now's a good time to say we won't be here the following episode for the holiday. Both Bonsai and I will be out. I actually will be driving, so unfortunately, it's not one of the fun drives where you have full reception. It's through just empty plains, and no cell reception or any sort of entertainment is available. Trust me, I know. Anyways, back to Cyberpunk. So I'm enjoying it. The story is good. I like some of the subplots a whole lot better. I think they're definitely handling the Keanu Reeves character in a good way. I was afraid that this was going to be a case of where they're just banking on a celebrity voice or a celebrity model to sell it. No, I'm actually liking it. I'm liking the performance. It's good. It's good. I do have to say that unlike a lot of folks, I went into this completely blind. I've played Witcher 3, so I like CD Projekt Red. I haven't played the Metro series. I went to this completely blind. I knew there was a controversy about where it was or wasn't released. And yes, I disagree with the whole Epic story in general. Whatever. In this case, though, going into it blind actually helped. I had no idea of the issues. I don't know if they fixed them. I haven't really run into them. I guess there's a graphical issue that I can't tell if it's part of the story or not. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to go into spoilers. The game's come out in a little while, but something happens to you where sometimes you see things differently. Well, there are times where I'm like, I don't know if it's part of that story element or if the graphics are just fucking up. I'm playing on the Xbox Series X. Wow, I don't know why that was hard to find. My Latin tongue went left when I was trying to go right. So on my Xbox Series X, I will say it's performing well. The resume feature is balls. I have it on the PC. I might replay it on the PC. But yeah, it's kind of balls. So it works most of the time, and then the game just randomly crashes. So that's kind of a funky one. Graphics wise, it looks good. I waited till they released the next generation graphics pack for the PS5 and the Series X. So that's why it took me so long to play it. But if I had to rate it right now, I'd give it a 3.6, 3.7 out of 5. I might improve it to a 4, but that's just the 3.6 part. It's just the graphical bugs and the driving controls are just fuck awful. They're just bad. And controls in general. So I've given a rating, but controls in general on the console totally feel like a goddamn port, because instead of it naturally following, you have a fucking cursor moving it around. I feel like the old laptops before they had solid trackpads, where you'd get that little nubbin. It's like, yeah, you gotta turn on. Oh yeah, rub that nubbin real good to make sure your mouse works properly. That's what it feels like. And there is one particular bug where when you go into one of the submenus, so you hack a lot of computers and security systems, so you end up hacking into a lot of screens. Sometimes when you resume, your cursor goes away. So I got to sit there and guess where the fuck this little sumbitch is and try to move it over to one of the buttons that will glow a slightly brighter blue, and then figure out, okay, so now if I tap slightly to the left, oh, that's where I want to go to get out of this fucking thing or to do what I need to do. So that bug's annoying. And then the other reason it gets a 3.6, 3.7 instead of a solid 4 or 4.2 is, good God, the crypto puzzles, like, they're fine. They're interesting. I love puzzles, so I'm into them. The issue is that there's so many opportunities where you need to do them. I wish for a little variety. I wish it was more like Mass Effect, where they would switch out which mini game you have to complete. Because, as an example, I go into a room, and I might need one to get in through the door. I might need one to open up. One of the there's like these data hack ports you get into to get money and quick hack supplies. So you do one there, and then to get into the actual like machine, you do another one. So that's 4 already in just the one room. Now multiply that by several rooms, multiply that by several mechanics. It's wearing thin. It really is. So yeah, the crypto puzzle's just not my favorite. All right. So other than that, I'm enjoying the shit out of the game. The cars are on point, except for the driving, of course. Some of the dialogue is just fucking hilarious. I'm just dying. It's fantastic. I haven't romanced anybody. I hear you can do that. I haven't really. Apparently, I'm not doing it right. I have to use my phone more. But yeah, I guess I always romance somebody in these games if it's puzzle. So I'm gonna give that a go. But yeah, honestly, I'd pay for it. Like Cyberpunk, I did, but I would also pay for it even if it came out on Game Pass. It's a solid game. I'm enjoying it. Replayability. I think if you want to try different styles, there's replayability, but it's just like Watch Dogs. That's the name of the other game. It's just like Watch Dogs. No, so what's on point about the vehicles? I'm glad that the chat asked, because yeah, that statement was kind of balls. 50 milligrams with no bonza here to keep me reined in. Take that, you sons of bitches. No, in this case, what I mean is there are different types of vehicles, and as opposed to most of these kinds of games where they just tend to be kind of different skins, minus like obviously a boat. Some of them would be faster, slower, or that's very GTA-y. In this case, though, like there are just some vehicles that are better in the Badlands in a different terrain. So the off-road vehicles legitimately perform better off-road and shittier in the cities. There are like different cars will go obviously different speeds, but they also handle differently and well, they shift differently. It looks like they put in a lot of care into getting the mechanic right. The problem is the controls, and I don't know if this is because I'm playing it on the Xbox and it was kind of meant for PC is what it feels like, or if it's just like maybe I'm just really bad, but the actual turning and when you brake, like there's no, maybe I haven't found it, maybe it's a controller thing. I haven't found an e-brake yet, so some of the turns really suck. And this actually brings up another point. I was going to move on from the game, but let me shit on it a little bit more because it's what we do here. No. The waypoint system is great, but fuck awful. So it's great because it allows me to do 3 different kinds of waypoints at the same time, all with directions, and it's great. You can do main, you can do side quests, and you can do like utility, where you're like, I want to get to a vendor. Vendors are really important, so totally makes sense. However, I think there's another one that is like for not side quests necessarily, but actually might be side quests. Gigs is what they're called, but side quests. So the issue with it is that it's the same fucking color as the street. Just that one though. If you're doing the main quest, it's yellow. If you're doing the utility stuff or vendor stuff, it's white. But when you're doing the side quests not side quests, but just like the gigs, it's teal. In the mini map, it's also fucking teal. The road is. So you got black on the sides and a teal road with a teal dotted line. It's really fucking hard to see. So you can't both have shitty brakes on your fucking driving mechanic and a shitty GPS. Like maybe mark the fucking floor or something, or do something. It's the fucking future, right? Like, it's not far to say that you can have. It doesn't even have to actually affect the floor. It could just be a HUD in your vehicle kind of deal, right? It marks where it goes. That way, when I'm going really fucking fast this way, and the little motherfucker says, oh yeah, hey, the next one's is gonna have to be a right, I just can't tell. So I am halfway through the intersection by the time I start to brake, and then I hit a bunch of people and kill them, which then starts this whole cascade of bullshit because now the cops are mad at me, and I was only like 40 meters away from my target when I needed to make that right, so it completely fucking made me bomb that mission. It was a fuck off inconvenience because of a shitty mechanic. Now, if I had fucked up and braked wrong or just done something wrong, I'll take the blame. I 100% my bad. Not my bad. Wasn't the first time it happened. In the Badlands, when you're going through the rough terrain in an off-road vehicle, which you're able to do, you have to avoid rocks. It's kind of hard to do quick braking when, like, there's no e-brake. It's just a shit mechanic. Not the worst thing, but just some improvements. Again, it's not a bad game. I paid money for this technically twice, so I'm recommending it. All right. So the last thing I wanted to talk about, and I kind of wanted to address a little bit of what's going down, is I've been keeping up mostly with the Halo show, and folks are really pissed. It seems like a lot of people were very disappointed the direction that the show is taking, but I mean, I just gotta say, it's a different take. It's the cinematic. It's the live action adoption. I will say Forward Unto Dawn got more things right, I would say, with how they're portrayed, at least Master Chief. It's just, I don't know. People are really mad. I'm not hating it. I do wish it was more about Master Chief. The like ensemble cast, the whole like side thing with what do you call it, with the planet and the holy mission of the chosen girl, all that. It's like super superfluous. I have no idea what's happening. It seems like it was added in because they didn't think there was going to be enough in the initial Halo lore. But if you've read the books, there's enough in the extended that you should just use those elements. But look, they're trying something. It's not the worst. I'm just glad it's finally fucking happening and I get the chance to see it. Yes, he should not be taking his helmet off so much. It's just really fucking dumb. Because, look, if they wanted to show him without a helmet when he's not in the armor, sure. But when he's in the armor, what's the fucking point? What is it? What are you trying to prove? If it's an actor's ego, pick a different actor. Like, don't get me wrong, the actor's fine, but it's a buffed up white guy. There's more of those. Pick one that doesn't have any crazy ego about it. And then, so the chat is bringing up a point. They're saying that it sucks. And look, it doesn't suck. It's not the worst. Some episodes are better than ever. Is it better than The Mandalorian? Not even close. Mandalorian fucking brings it. In this case, it's okay. If I had to give the first season a rating so far, 2.5 out of 5. It's about 50-50. It's hit or miss. I'm loving the elements. I'm just not loving the this whole like mommy relationship they got going with Halsey. I understand why they would lean into it. It just, I don't know. The whole Master Chief making mistakes in this way, they're trying to humanize him, and I guess that's kind of defeating the point of the Spartans. I believe he does. The chat asked if Master Chief has a love interest that is not Cortana, and I don't know if it's a love interest. It's just a scene at the right now. It's dumb. I don't get it. I don't get why they needed it. That's my problem. Like, especially nowadays, like, why do you need this kind of thing? But on that note, I haven't done much other than that. I've gone off and I've been going outside. Surprisingly, took the dogs to a dog friendly beach, threw the ball, ate a really good local sandwich. It was an outdoorsy kind of weekend. Spent time with the family, so I regret none of that. Those are the things I've covered. Normally, Bonsai would have a little bit more. We'd have a bit of a spat, and we'd go on for another 30 minutes. But this is Arc Rambles episode, and it's a mini-sode technically because Bonsai's not here. Check us out Monday nights, 7-ish to 8-ish apparently. Tuesdays we're still doing the multiplayer night, twitch.tv/Metagame Network. If at any point you don't see me on there, still send a message via our Discord or via YouTube, because sometimes I just don't fucking feel like it, but I'm probably still around. If y'all are interested in checking it out. And on that note, we're going to end with, these are Bonsai's last words, not mine, and he's totally stealing them from the chat. Shame on Bonsai. Hashtag not my Master Chief. On that note, good night everybody. Bye.